I started looking back at Isaiah and I started thinking, how many times have you wished that you could have been on the road to Emmaus? I'm going to tell you. When I read in Luke about Jesus coming up and joining those disciples, and they are supernaturally kept from recognizing him, the text is very clear about that. And they're sad. We thought he was to be the Messiah. And then Jesus starts opening the scriptures to them. Remember what they said later on? Did not our hearts burn within us as he opened the scriptures to us? Folks, we should never be looking for feelings. But man, we should be expectant that when the word is really open to us, our hearts are going to burn within us. And that's what they experienced. They had the Messiah open the scriptures to them. And then when Jesus then appears to the disciples, what does he do for them? What's the first thing he does? He opens their mind to understand the scriptures. And he upbraids them. How could you be so slow to believe what the prophets have testified concerning me? And he starts from Moses and goes all the way through. First thing he does. Wow, I think that means it's probably pretty important. You know, when you've risen from the dead, the first thing you do with the future leaders of your church, let me tell you what the scriptures say. Not how it's done in most seminaries today, sadly. But I would love to have heard that teaching on the road to Emmaus. I would have loved to have heard what Jesus taught the disciples during that time after the resurrection when he opens their hearts and minds to understand the scriptures. But you might say, yeah, well, that was back then. That's maybe someday in heaven, right? No. We actually have a pretty good idea of what he said to them because they then wrote the New Testament. And it is a testimony to the problem